Hello everyone, this is our almost done, second to last video for this class, and I'm going to talk to you about three hard things today. The first thing I want to talk to you about is making sure that you put some action into all of this planning that you've done, and you've taken a lot of time out of your own schedule and your own life to watch all these videos, and so what are you going to do? Right? One of the questions that I get asked all the time is, how long is this going to take? How long is this healing thing? How long is this going to take? And, one of the questions or one of the answers that I usually have is, any of these plans work. Josh Axe's plan, my plan, all of the Chris Kresser's plan, we all, Amy Myers, we all have great plans and they all work when you stick. And so they don't work as soon as you decide that your relaxation or your deservedness comes before your health. And so, yes, it's important to relax. It's not important to relax with crap food. Yes, it's important to have a great time, but not with crappy alcohol and things that are not in the healing mode. So I think we need to assess, as part of our A, not just action, assess how long it's going to take by how long do you want it to take. If you want to get through this healing process quickly, then you stick tighter to the plan. If you don't mind that it takes 3 or 4 months longer or a year longer, or you decide that you're going to take a trip off to somewhere else for a while and then come back and you're going to do this and you're going to do that, all of the times, every time you take a detour, it just takes longer. It's kind of like when we're trying to get out of the house, right? And my kids keep talking to me, and I'm on the phone trying to finish up a conversation, and every time I have to tell them, hang on, it just takes longer to get out the house, right? So it's the same thing, right? Every time we take a detour, it just takes us longer to get done what we know we really need to do in the first place. So during those times that we've convinced ourselves and having that awareness about convincing ourselves that sitting down to a gluten-filled, French fried world or a bag of cookies or potato chips or a pan of brownies or mac and cheese or whatever your thing is. Mine is popcorn. Anytime that we decide that having that thing is more important than our health, we lose trust in ourselves. And I think that this is a really important place to understand and to actually talk into today. So we wanted to talk about how long it's going to take. The average person takes 6 to 12 months to really get into a good healing mode. And so if you decide that weekends or Friday nights or date night is always going to be a cheat, then it's going to take longer. I mean, it just is. And so really being upfront about that and really understanding those expectations ahead of time helps you to be more successful and not put yourself into a place where you can't succeed. If you decide that those treat cheat times come 2 or 3 times a week, the healing isn't really going to happen. So I'm just going to be really upfront about that. It's not going to happen because you're kidding yourself about how committed you are to your health. And as much as you'd like to be healthy, not being committed to being healthy and not really taking the action steps that it takes to be healthy you're just kidding yourself, and you're not really you're out of congruence with what you want. So you just end up not really trusting yourself in the commitment. So you might as well just back out. At that point, it's not a place where you want to stay, where you want to lose weight or you want to get healthy or you want to heal your gut, but you don't like the process, right? We don't all like the process. But if you're not going to commit to the process, don't be so hard on yourself, right? You've chosen not to commit. You've chosen not to lose the weight, or you've chosen not to really get healthy because sticking to it is too hard, or you deserve something else, or you've created these habits and lack of awareness in your life where you just jump into those old spaces of headspace and head thinking. So let's talk about some different ways and some strategies to move beyond that. Awareness is the biggest piece. What do you do every day? Start your morning. Does it start with a pot of coffee or a cup of coffee? Does it start with green tea, or does it start with hot water and lemon? It doesn't. In any of those cases, you can shift how your morning starts. Everything that we do every day, we have choices and we make those choices. Somebody else doesn't come in and tell us how to feel. Things happen. We have feelings and we react or we respond. And it's that respond or react that allows us to make good choices. Stepping back and responding from a place of, I want to be healthy, is a much better place than just, screw it. I'll just say it nicely. Screw it. I don't care. It's not going to matter, blah, 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 blah. But then when we continue to feel bad and start complaining about it, we're not committed, right? So it's moving in a direction of commitment to the process. And yeah, that means you have to say no. And you have to learn to say no to yourself. And you're probably going to have to say no to family members that have expectations around what food we eat, particularly in the holidays and birthdays, and you have some traditions. And you know what? This year, you might have to break some of those traditions. But does that mean you always have to break those traditions? Probably not. Maybe in terms of gluten, yeah, maybe you do for the rest of your life. But is that the worst thing on the planet? There's way worse things happening. So keeping things in perspective as we move forward is going to help you a lot. So that's the third thing, right? How long is it going to take? It's going to take the action. It's going to take however long you choose it to take, right? Staying aware about what you do and the choices you make through the day. What habits are you bumping up against that you have created in your world that make you feel better temporarily? It's the trifecta, right? We talked about this earlier. It's I feel bad about something that happened, or sad, or depressed, or anxious. So I pick food, and I usually don't pick a bag of carrots to binge with. I pick a poor choice. How's that, as opposed to a bad choice? A poor choice of food. So now I physically feel worse and I mentally feel worse about the choice I made. Plus, I'm still sad about the first thing that we talked about. So it's really the trifecta of horrible for yourself. Unwinding that process takes time, and it takes diligence to unwind that whole process that we've created in our life. And so I think that you need to give yourself somewhat of a break when you do fall off the wagon, if there's an awareness and a choice, and maybe it wasn't the best choice. But I think the key is to get back on faster, right? It's how fast do we bounce back? It's not just thud, and we just hit the ground and we stay in our slop for a while and then we decide to come back out. No, it's how fast can you just make that super ball bounce back up and get back into a place of healthy thought processes. So awareness, action, let's make this thing happen for ourselves, right? Do we deserve a treat every now and again? Yes. Does it have to be food? No. Find some other things that you enjoy doing, right? Find some other things that you enjoy doing. I like to create flower arrangements. And so when I get in a place where I'm not in a great space, I run to Trader Joe's and spend $10 on some cheap flowers and make something. Or my daughter paints and she draws, usually some sort of creativity, or journaling, taking a walk instead of sitting in front of the television and devouring a bag of chips. There's lots of different things that you can be doing besides that thing that will make you feel better and relaxed. Take a bath. Get out from in front of the television entirely. Listen to some good music. Listen to some, Hay House has meditations. Do something like that for yourself instead of jumping into food or instead of jumping back into a habit that you have. I think you will also become aware of conversation patterns that you have, awareness of your more mental health things as you walk into your own coping mechanisms that you've created around the poor lifestyle choices that you've had to this point. So, not an easy video to shoot because we have a lot of kind of airy-fairy concepts, but I think that the action piece of crap, action, awareness, becoming ask and apply, asking for help, like becoming helpless and asking for help, hard to do, I understand, and necessary. So we have Facebook groups, you have me you can PM me. There's ways that you can get some help through all this. And if you can ask ahead, right? Hey, I know that I'm going on vacation next week. What's the best way to handle it? I have a girls trip planned. We always do la-di-da. You know, if these girls are your friends, they're going to want you to be healthy. They've probably been wondering why you've not been healthy, or maybe you can bring health to them too. So what's always been one way doesn't always have to be that way. You can change the way girls' weekend is this year, right? Next year, you want to go and do the things you guys normally do, that's fine. Your health will be in a better, more stable place if you can just say no for a little while. So I'm going to encourage you to just hang in there and take some action and be really, really aware of your actions. That think and feel piece, right? Eat, drink, move, sleep, think and feel. That think and feel piece is just as important part of the foundation as everything else that we've cleaned up and restored function to. So hang in there with the action spot. Yes, it's going to take some time, but you got this. Thanks. Talk to you soon. Love y'all.